UFOs, a real burgeoning, not going away. I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli, and this is our weekly UFO report. Frankly, I can't believe it. I'll leave it at that. See you on the other side of the break. I can't believe it. I am dumbfounded. I can't believe it. This validates everything I've been saying literally for decades, and we will get into this and so much more. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor. Folks, L.A. Marzulli, we have a new product from the folks at BioTrust. I'm going to give this baby a try. Look, I've got stubborn belly fat. A lot of you out there have the same problem. Support balanced glucose uptake and metabolism in healthy individuals. This is pretty cool. Support normal insulin activity in healthy individuals. I have not yet tried this. I'm getting on it. I will report back to you. We try all of the stuff that our sponsors give us. Look, I'll be honest with you. I've got some stubborn belly fat. I would love to see it go away. So I'm going to give this a shot. Anyway, here's a further word from our sponsor. Excess belly fat has been deemed the most dangerous fat of them all, as it's linked to so many health issues. The reason being, excess belly fat grows deep in the abdominal cavity and puts pressure on some of the body's most vital organs. That's one of the reasons why myself, along with so many people, are beginning to turn to this amazing new substance, which is thoughtfully formulated with science-backed ingredients that promote reduced fat storage, help to speed up the breakdown of fat, support weight management, reduce cravings, and boost metabolism. Folks, the best part I love is that you can get 51% off for the rest of the month or until they sell out, whichever comes first. Get yours now by going to trimwithla.com. Once again, that's trimwithla.com. Trimwithla.com. I'm going to give this 30 days. I'll report back to you and we'll see what it does. So this is Representative Tim Burkett coming out of the congressional hearing in Congress. This is number 18 on the ladder of disclosure. Frankly, I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm listening to what he says, and we'll walk through this. So I'm going to roll the tape, and then I'm going to go through it line by line. Here's Tim Burkett.
Secret. I mean, these guys are just the classic.
Okay.
Are you satisfied?
Absolutely nothing. It just proved my point that, the federal government learned how to do this during the Second World War. You got to imagine Oak Ridge National Laboratory, Manhattan Project, thousands of people working on an atomic bomb, and less than 12 actually knew what it was, and that was kept secret. I mean, these guys are just the classic, it's like a stovepipe, man. They just got their little bit of information, and it doesn't go, and that's the way they keep this. You can say it's disinformation, you can say whatever, but, if I got to hear it one more time, I don't know what I don't know, and it's another layer of the onion, and we threw another layer, and we know where not to go, and it's with these cats. It's clear to me, these guys are telling the truth. It was said many times. Most of these folks are patriotic Americans. They're doing their job, but the confines of their job limit them on what they can say to us, because they just don't know. They got to go, and the way they do it is they keep you in so limited that they could go swear under oath and take a lie detector test, and they're telling the truth as they know it.
Nothing new. So I think that with what we're doing, we have a new speaker now. We're working on getting our select committee, and I'm very hopeful about that. But frankly, it doesn't seem like it's anything other than what we were told. The fact is that Congress should have oversight and the ability to look into and have access to these programs. And the fact is that we're being told that we don't have access to these programs, which defeats the purpose of what we're supposed to be doing.
But your colleagues do have access if they're on armed services.
No.
Oh, really? No member.
Well, they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us who. They wouldn't answer that.
And was anything?
If they have information they're not going to tell us, they either don't know or it's so complicated, the process by which the information could be available is not going to be available. We can't even find out who is allowed to know. We can't find out if members of Congress are allowed to know, what it takes to let them know, what citizens are allowed to know, which ones, who. We can't even find out that, let alone the information that might or might not be available or known to anyone.
You know, we've got people on both sides of the aisle. My buddy Jared Moskowitz, AOC was in there, you know, just a lot of people on both sides of the aisle. And Lona on our side, I mean, you know, and General Perry and just everybody was in there. I mean, it was the right people to be in there, and they all left frustrated, I felt like.
I would like to thank the folks over at News Nation because that's where I got this from. But I want to walk through some of the verbiage that Scott Perry and others state here in this article, and I think you'll find it interesting without sort of double backing, because I still can't believe what I heard or read in this article. Lawmakers who received a classified briefing regarding allegations the Pentagon is operating a secret UFO retrieval program described the effort as pointless. As pointless. Remember that. Indicating much more would need to be done to get to the bottom of the issue. Representative told News Nation not only did they not receive information on the alleged programs, they couldn't even figure out the process for getting cleared to be briefed. We can't even find out who was allowed to know. So, and I'm going to weigh in on this. Just think about that. So we've got elected officials in Congress, okay? And the powers that be will not even tell them who was allowed to know. Let's continue. The classified briefing came after a public hearing on the subject following allegations by whistleblower David Grush. Remember that? That was number 17 on our ladder of disclosure. Grush stated on the record that they have retrieved crashed UFOs, and they have, from those crashed UFOs, discovered biologics. In other words, the bodies. We've known about this for decades, but now it's out of the bag. Now it's in Congress. Representative Mace asked David Grush, did you retrieve bodies? He says, yes, we've retrieved biologics. Mace then asked Grush, are they human or non-human? Grush leans forward, looks right to the microphone, leans up and looks at Representative Mace and said, they were non-human. And this is groundbreaking. Now, the skeptics will go, well, there's no photographic proof. Why would he say this? Come on, guys. We've known about this stuff for decades. For those of us in the field, it's nothing new, but let's continue. Grush worked on investigating unidentified aerial phenomena for the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and claims he was told about secret UFO retrieval programs operating without congressional oversight. So he says this, but then we get this from Representative Scott Perry. We can't even find out who is allowed to know. So, you know, for the skeptics out there, give me a break. Grush, bully for him. He's telling us the truth, in my opinion. The issue of UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, and notice for decades we've called them UFOs, but now it's okay. They've changed the verbiage, and so UAPs, you can talk about it as long as you want, but don't mention that pesky UFO stuff. The issue of UAPs has become a rare subject of bipartisan agreement among lawmakers. Representatives Anna Luna, Republican, Florida, and Jared Moskowitz, Democrat, Florida, characterized the meeting. So both sides of the aisle are actually coming together. Both of these representatives characterized the meeting as frustrating and pointless, as they were told they did not have the clearance to know more about the subject. Representative Tim Burkett, Republican, Tennessee, is one of those who led the effort to investigate Grush's claims. Speaking with News Nation, he was careful not to blame the individual sent to brief Congress, even as he described the effort as a game of whack-a-mole and compared it to the Winchester Mansion, full of doors leading to nowhere. Let's continue. The federal government learned to do this during the Second World War. We just heard the clip where they compartmentalized everything. We've heard this before. We've heard all this before. Back in the 90s, Bob Lazar talked about the compartmentalization of back engineering the propulsion system to a UFO. So we've heard about this. You have to imagine Oak Ridge National Laboratory, the Manhattan Project, thousands of people working on the atomic bomb, and less than 12 knew what it was. That's a fact. Burkett said the silos of information were deliberate, allowing leaders of the Department of Defense to send people with limited knowledge to speak truthfully, even under oath, without revealing the bigger picture. These guys can swear under oath. They can take a lie detector test because they're telling the truth. Let's continue. I'm going to go down to the bottom here. Regardless of personal opinions on UAPs and whether they are alien in nature, I want to make it really clear here, there's that plurality of worlds, that we're being visited by extraterrestrials, by beings from other planets. I don't believe that for a second. These are interdimensional entities. I've stated that over and over and over again. This is the coming great deception. That's my wheelhouse, and I'm sticking to it. Lawmakers agreed it was critical for Congress to be able to provide oversight. We owe it to the American people to let them know where their money is being spent. Representative Eric Burleson, Republican, Missouri, said. Lawmakers indicated they would continue to push for more briefings and hearings in an effort to get to the bottom of the issue as they hit roadblocks. Here's the kicker. And this, folks, is the closing statement. And I can't even believe what I'm hearing. Quote, "This is one more example that this isn't our government," Perry said. "We just get to live here in America, and the government doesn't answer to us." This is not conspiracy theory. This is a standing member of the House of Representatives stating this, that there is no government by the people for the people because there's no congressional oversight. And I'll say it again. This is one more example that this is not our government. We just get to live here in America, and the government doesn't answer to us. I'm not making it up. Frankly, folks, I can't believe it. I really can't. I can't believe that I'm quoting from a standing member of Congress who's basically saying that the government isn't ours anymore. It's been hijacked. Some of us have been saying that for decades, for years. But if you say it here, you can be censored. You can get a strike. I want to make it really clear if there are censors. I am quoting a sitting member of Congress, not me. Do I believe in what this man is saying? Absolutely. Why else would he say it? Why else would these so-called whistleblowers and people, it's a nothing burger. It's a pointless exercise. It's whack-a-mole. There you have it. Anyway, folks, don't forget we do have our brand new book, Further Evidence. It is out. LAMarzulli.net, LAMarzulli.net. Please consider checking that out. I think you'll find it absolutely interesting. I will be reading an excerpt from it in a not too distant future. So lots going on. We also have Karen Wilkinson's book, Stolen Seed, Evil Harvest. You're going to want to check that out. It's flying off the shelves here. Vicki Joy Anderson's book on sleep paralysis. They only come out at night. Lots going on. Go to LAMarzulli.net, LAMarzulli.net. Thanks for coming here. Hit the subscribe button. We will be back tomorrow with another episode. This time it will be Questions with LA. Thanks so much for watching.